I told him, man. Tried to tell him. I tried to tell him. If that boy Charlo get back on his shit, if that boy Charlo get back on his grizzly, then it's gonna be easy work. But last night, boys was going at it, man. I feel like Castaño, you know what I mean? Castaño did what Castaño could do in a rematch against a guy that, that's in another league. Now, Castaño, he had kind of the same game plan. That's the crazy part. I talked about yesterday how it was going to come down to who made these tweaks and adjustments and who could switch things up or who could learn from the last fight. And I thought that Castaño came out just about the same way he did in the first fight. I think he thought that he could do what he did the first fight, but better. And sometimes that's where you go wrong. Not just as an athlete, but as a person. Sometimes you have to change up what you're doing altogether. You can't just say, hey, I'm gonna do what I did before, but do it better, and it's gonna work out different this time. That's not really realistic. You know what I mean? Charlo came out more aggressive. He was earlier to battle. He was earlier to initiate action in the ring. You know what I mean? He didn't wait. Which opens you up to getting hit more. You might get hit more than you'd like to, which, I saw Charlo getting hit more than he'd like to, but, he's got a big head, man, like a big skull. His head skull is like the size of a watermelon, bro. He can take some hits. So once he got to that point where, he was willing to trade and get hit, Castaño can't trade with him. And that's where Castaño messed up. He was a little bit more tactical and strategic with when he stepped in that first go round. Then, last night he just went for it, man. I feel like he went for it, and he was like, I think the first fight he tasted some of Charlo's power, and he was under the impression that he can handle that. You know what I mean? He was under the impression he can handle that. So he stands in there, he's trading back and forth, and there was like 2 or 3 times in the fight before the knockout that you were like, damn, that seemed like it hurt him. You know what I mean? It wasn't a big reaction, but if you know what you're looking for as a boxing fan, then he was hurt multiple times. Castaño was hurt multiple times, and he continued to, fight the same way, continue to step forward, and his combinations. The thing with Castaño, man, you're throwing too many combinations, bro. You're throwing 4 and 5 pieces at a Charlo. Like, he's not one of the best counterpunchers that boxing has right now. He is. He's willing to take one and hit you on the way back. You know what I mean? He's patient. And that's what, it's hard for Castaño to sit there and be patient with a Charlo. So, the first fight, man, the first fight, I wouldn't be mad if somebody said Castaño won that fight. I'm not mad. I'm not debating that. You could see it that way. That's kind of how our draw works, If you ask 50 people who won, 25 is going to say this, 25 is going to say that. That's a draw, But this time around, you could tell Charlo still gave some moments away. Castaño had some moments where he was like, okay, this is about to be another fight, possibly another draw. I had it kind of dead even going into that 9th or 10th round, had it dead even. And you could just tell Charlo was like, nah, we ain't doing no more draws, bro. The draw shit is over. You could tell, man. You could tell. So, great fight, man. I think that, if they fought 10 more times, it would work out more to how it worked out last night. Just because once a great fighter gets you figured out like that, it's not much he can do. Castaño doesn't have any other ways he can fight. That's pretty much his style, bro. And Castaño's, he's up next, bro. I feel like Castaño has his own lane where he can be successful, even with this loss. There's nothing wrong with losing, bro. There's nothing wrong with losing. That's what's messed up with boxing right now is dudes don't want to take an L, so they're not fighting the best competition, and it's just not good for the sport, bro. When the best don't want to fight the best because they don't want to have an L on their record, it's not good for the sport. From a mentoring you know, having kids and youngins looking at you. It's not good for, you know, breeding up strong men and women for the future. You know, having them think that losing is a part. No, you're gonna lose, man. Losing happens. You're gonna lose. You got to learn how to take L's and bounce back and move forward. And I admire guys like Canelo and Charlo and Castaño. You know, they don't mind getting back in there and mixing it up, man. That's what it's all about, bro. That's what it's all about. Yo, no matter how you look at it, boxing's back, bro. No matter how you look at it, boxing is back. You know, just having that Canelo fight followed up by this Castaño and yeah, just to have that Canelo fight, and then to follow it up with this Charlo and Castaño fight, bro. And then, you know, you got another fight next week. You got Devin Haney and Kambosos coming up on the first weekend of June, bro. Boots Ennis, Jaron Ennis, man, showed that, you know, he's got the stuff last night. He knocked the guy out in the second round. I don't know why he was fighting that guy, but crazy knockout, bro. I'm just so excited because, you know, I grew up where boxing was, you know, you gotta shut down everything for that boxing match. When that big fight rolled around, everything getting shut down. You know, I come from that background where it seemed like the whole world was more in tune with boxing back in the days, but we're getting back there, man. I think that having these fights where great fighters have the possibility of losing, you know, it doesn't feel rigged to make the underdog actually lose, you know, where anything can happen. You got to bring the anything can happen thing back. That's what the UFC has going right now, is anything can happen type vibe, you know. And for a guy like me, you know, I'm experienced with watching sports. I can kind of see when things are happening a certain way. For a guy like me, that's a big deal. You know, that's a big draw for me, is can anything happen? Do I feel like they'll let anything happen? Where, you know, if the main fighter is getting drugged like Canelo was, will they let it happen, or will some bullshit happen to where they have to stop the fight, or, you know, the judges just straight up rig it in your face? They don't care. They just straight that, you know, it's happened. So big ups to boxing, man. I really feel good about the future of the sport. I really feel like there's nowhere to go but up from here. And yeah, man, I called it, bro. I told you. It's all about adjustments when it comes to rematches and what kind of tweaks and changes you can make. And even in life, bro, even in life, you know what I'm saying? It's even in life, man, it's all about what adjustments you can make, what tweaks you can make, how you see, you know, if you take an L in life, it's all about how you do things differently next time around, bro. And last night, Charlo showed that, you know, he's not going to be the same guy twice. You know, for a great boxer like that, a draw must feel like an L. You know, a draw has to feel like a defeat. So, you know, you can tell he did everything in preparation that you could do to prepare to see a guy like that again. And big ups to Charlo, big ups to Castaño, big ups to boxing, man. We back at it. Hopefully ESBC gets both of these guys, and you know, hopefully we can play with them in the game. And that's really what you want, man. That's really what you want. So PBC, they did it. PBC had an interesting show last night because that shit was over early. I went to bed last night, y'all. I went to bed last night. Good show. Had knockout. Castaño got to the arena late. It's all good. We're still gonna knock your ass out. Bet he'll get to his next fight on time.
This a conversation I'ma have with you.